Welcome. Let's take a look at Unit 11, Chapter 11. I am not really going to go through Chapter 11 much because I do this in the CMP 100 class, CIS 170. I go through all this. And so this is, hopefully, if you're in that class, right, you already went through this portion. And this part is really easy for you because we went through it in a lot more detail than they did here. They've got stuff about future trends in there, college programs that are out there, IT certifications that are out there, resumes, how to build one. And this is fantastic information. And what I'm going to do is show you EAC stuff. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about that. So you're aware of it, just in case you're not in the 100 class and really would like that information. I'm telling you that CIS 170, CMP 100 is really vital to your success. If you missed it, then we'll see you next fall. All right, so let's take a look. EAC, I'm going to show you where to go. So when you go to EAC's web page, you go to academics, and then you can check out the degrees and certificates. Now that's different than looking in their catalog. This is a more user-friendly way of doing it. They show you what, the thing at the top that shows you, hey, this is what this is. An AAS is what we're offering here. Associates of Applied Science. And those are transfer is possible, as it says. I'm glad that they've changed that. There's lots of universities that take the first 2 years of what you do as an AAS. So we're going to take a look at computers. That's what we scrolled down to. And we're going to take a look at the programs of study. Because the cybersecurity degree is new, it's up here at the top. It talks about the fact that we're building on this class you're taking and networking that you take from CompTIA, these two. And then you get into these EC Council certifications, which are very hands-on certifications. That's what I love about the EC Council stuff. It's one of the reasons I gravitated towards them. I gravitated towards them because they defined different career areas that other places like CompTIA did not. CompTIA has got basically 3. I think they're starting a 4th security certification. And the way they do it is like, hey, here's your basic security, and it's really boring. I taught it for years. Never had students get certified in it, but it's just really boring. Anyway, they might be upset with me saying that on video. Anyway, so they have that basic one, and then they have one that basically is certified ethical hacker. They call it penetration tester and incident handler, and I can't remember what they call that, practitioner or something like that. And that's what they cover. That's their ways of looking at it. And this, I looked at different jobs, like a big one out there is an incident handler. A big one is actually the forensics on the system, getting into the memory on the system. And then another huge one, network defender. You're the network guy, and now you want to be the network defender guy. In other words, I know how to really defend this network. And then, of course, the ethical hacker, which is one of their top tiers. On if you know how hackers are hacking, then you can defend against it, and that's why it's called ethical hacker. So this is information's at the top because that's our new degree. And I tell you, hey, you can actually get the degree completed in 4 semesters, or you can get a certificate done from EA in 2 to 4. Somebody trying to do it in 2 semesters, they have no life. That's what I can say. Anyway, then there's Grow with Google. And that is a very simple entry-level Google IT Support Professional Certificate. You take these 2 courses and you come out with these certificates, and then you're Google IT Support Professional Certified. It's easier stuff. It is not designed to make you a total expert. It's designed to say, I want to start in the industry. That's what it's designed. This is kind of part of our degree, not really, but I tell people you should take it. You should take it because being able to put that on your resume is awesome. Google's name just carries weight. That's the truth. It's got some good stuff in it. I don't want to make it sound like it doesn't. It really has some good stuff in it. And you take it in these 2 short-term classes. So this is 8-week course, 8-week course. So you get it done in 1 semester. Or you can do it in the summertime, which then they're compacted into 4 and 4. And that is a lot of information still to deal with. I have tons of students take this Grow with Google. Most of them are not majors. They're not computer majors. And then you kind of start to look at, okay, well, here's some general information about different salaries out there, and it needs to be updated. These are all a little low, probably hasn't been updated for like 4 years. You need to update that. And curriculum means, okay, what classes can you take? What degrees can you have? What certificates can you get? That kind of thing. And so there's the cybersecurity at the top because it's, it's new. That's why we put it up there. And you would want to follow the suggested semester course plan. I'm going to show you what one of those looks like. But basically, that's just, hey, you should take this stuff these semesters. If you haven't done this yet, you need to print this off and figure out what you're doing. And I'll help you do that. I help you with all the computer stuff, all that stuff, computer related, and then the people down in advising help you with all the general classes that you might need. The big one that we do that most people get into is this computer information specialist. So we're going to take a look at that suggested course plan. This is more of a business degree, management information systems, ABUS, if you're into that. And then the certificates are really designed for you to be able to get those along the way if you take 1 or 2 other classes that are particular to that certificate. So let's look at this course plan. It's a PDF, and so that's what it's doing, is downloading a PDF that basically says, if you're starting in the fall, this is what you should take. If you then in the spring, you take this. You can be starting in the spring. You could be starting, I did all my generals, and now I need to take these courses. You can do that either way that you want, but the important information that appears on the PDF that has not come up yet is the fact that I'm going to kill it and I'm going to try it again. It'll show you when classes are being offered. We are not a massive organization here. And so we have classes that are only offered in the fall and only offered in the spring, and you need to get into those courses when they're offered. Let me pause this while this comes in. 4 hours later. Yeah, no, it didn't take 4 hours, but it came up pretty slowly. Right, so this would be the fall semester. I hope that you have taken the 100 or the 170, which is a fall only course. But you have 103 on here, but 103 is really not fall only. So you could, put 103 down here where there is something else that is basically not spring only. You could switch them if you wanted to. That's totally fine. But the ones you need to worry about are the 118 that you're in and 272. See, that's fall, spring face-to-face. So that's got an option. Then you just basically take a look at, okay, these are the classes I need, and this is when they're offered. That way, you're getting into the right class. This information is always sitting out there, but I will tell you the information is updated as we update courses. So you would want to, you started now, you would want to save this and keep it and, use a program to modify this and say, okay, this is when I took this and this is when I'm taking this. You can add it right on the side here. So you have a plan of what's happening in your life. Because I can tell you, I don't know how many people will get to this 3rd semester and they'll say, I should have taken CMP 250, huh? Yeah. Can I take it now? No, it's a spring only course, meaning you're going to be back the following spring in order to take this class. It happens more often than it should, especially with students that I'm talking with about this over and over again, and they somehow still miss that. So you really want to pay attention to the spring and falls only. These are the courses that we have here available at EAC. So you can get a certificate in database administration or database support. And really, if we look at the suggested course plan, which I think is really an awesome way to do it, it'll show you that you got to take access and then you've got to take another class. And often those other classes may not be listed. And so if you're interested in those certificates and you're like, that's not listed, then you would talk to, in this case, Lydia Mata and say, can I take that course? How can I take that course? Because I'm interested in this support certificate. Same thing with systems administration and networking. or IT support professional. That's the one that's got the Google classes in it. And we really have designed it so you really don't have to do much else to make sure that when you get your degree, you actually get a certificate with it. And the important part of that is the fact that when you're really starting out, anything you put on your resume is good. You want them to ask questions, right? You want them to say, what is this IT support professional certificate? What did you have to do in that? Oh, I took these classes. And don't just tell them the classes you took. That's one of the pieces of advice I give to all students. Don't just say, oh yeah, I took this class. Like somehow they should know what that means. Tell them what was in the class. Tell them what you learned in there, and that they'll be just impressed with you. Because I'm telling you, people that come straight out of school, they don't do that. They don't do it. And so when they're sitting, let's go over and take a look at this database support certificate. And they say, oh, well, what did you have to do to take that? Well, actually, I already had a lot of the classes that were in the certificate. You will notice these are basically the ones that are in our degree program to begin with. But then there's this 280. And so you'd say, oh, well, basically, and Visual Basic can be replaced with something, just so you know, this is kind of old. I had to take a database course that dealt with SQL, and we talked all about SQL and how to deal with SQL. And, you give them the information on what that was. The one that I've got for servers has a server class in it. You would tell them, I did virtual servers in that class. We did ESXi, VMware stuff. We built this, we added this, we contacted that. You tell them what you learned. And that, again, that will really, really impress them. Too often in an interview, I know I'm getting away from the degrees that are offered by EAC, but too often in an interview, somebody will just assume that the person that's doing the interview knows. All degrees are different. You came here to EAC, we run you through it, and you're learning that so that when you get to the other side, you have some usable skills. And you need to tout that. You need to be able to walk in on an interview and say, this is what I did. This is what I was taught. This is what I can do. And that will be super, super important for you getting that job. It really will be. Anyway, so that's how you find this information for EAC and what we offer. And if you have any questions about it, then please ask me. Please ask me or Lydia Mata, and we will explain as best we can and help